Okay. Vertex form. Vertex form is a formula that we use for quadratics. The formula is on your formula chart there toward the bottom. It's like third from the last. One of the most important things that you need to keep in mind when you're using this formula is that it already has a minus sign. That minus sign is part of the formula. And as if we didn't already have enough variables to worry about, when you have a vertex point, like an x and y value point, a coordinate, it actually has its own variables. The variables for vertex is h and k, or they are h and k. That's for your vertex. Now, in vertex formula, you also have a value of a. The value of a determines a couple of different things. It determines which way the parabola opens, whether it's a u or an n. And it also determines how wide the parabola is, which how wide the parabola is, that's something we're going to talk about on Tuesday when we get back from the break. Now, because of this minus sign right here, let's do a couple of practice here. Let's say Diego, did you find your quiz? Let's say we're going to plug in a positive 3, right? I insert my positive 3, and you read what? X minus 3 squared. Okay, but what if I insert a negative 3?
It becomes x plus 3 squared.
Because the 3 has its own negative sign, and there's already a minus sign that's part of the formula, you end up with a double negative, which would make it a plus. So you do have to think of that minus or the number that you plug in there as opposite. Okay, but the k will always be whatever it is. If it's a positive, plus, negative, minus. Okay, the only one that's the opposite of that you read it the opposite way is the number inside of the parentheses. So if you look at the box on the right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify what the vertex is. We're going to identify our h and k from the formula, and then we'll talk about the maximum and minimum, okay? All right, so the first number, my h, in the formula it says minus 5, so technically that 5 is what?
Positive.
Positive. And then k, it is what it is. So 5, 2. In the next line, you read it as plus 6. So technically that 6 is negative 6. K, it is what it is. So negative 6, negative 4. That third line, what is that? 10. It's a positive 10. There is no number where you're supposed to have the k. So what number would that be? 0. Now look at your value of a. The value of a is going to help you with the maximum and the minimum. The value of a is the number that's in front of the parentheses, right? There is no number in front of the parentheses for the first equation. So what number would that be?
1.
And a positive 1 tells you that your parabola is going to open which way? Right side up or upside down? Is it going to be a U or an N? So this, if it stays the correct way, or if it stays right side up as a U, would we have a maximum or a minimum value? Minimum. And what is that minimum value? 2. The minimum or the maximum value will always be the y value of the vertex. Okay? Or it'll be your k. I guess you can say that now. The second equation, we have a positive 3. So are we going to have a u or a n? U. It's positive, so it stays as a u. And this one would have a what? This one's a minimum. What is that minimum value? Negative 4. the minimum or the maximum value is always the y value of the vertex. Nathan, we're not using the calculator right now, so I don't even know why you have it in your hand. Last equation. We have the last equation, my value of a is -4, so what happens to my parabola? It flips, so it's upside down. That one would be a what? A minimum or a maximum? Maximum. But that maximum value is?
0.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
All right. So, questions that are about vertex form are most likely going to be like the ones on the front, but most recently, last year they added a question that's like number 5 on the back. So we'll do one example like number 5. It's just more work. That's the only reason I only want to do one example of it, and you'll have one example like that on your assignment, okay? But more than likely, if you have a question over vertex form on the STAR test, it'll be like what we're about to do on the front, okay? Number 1, it says, write a quadratic function in vertex form that can be represented by the graph that has a vertex at 2, 0. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to label our 2, 0 as HK. That way we know where to plug in these values, where to plug these numbers in. And write your vertex formula. And we're going to plug our numbers in to H and K. Notice they don't give us a value for A, so you don't have to worry about plugging that in. I'm going to bring down my X minus, and I'm going to plug in or replace the H with what number? 2. I replace K with 0. Some questions on the STAR test, that's all they ask you to do. They ask you to write your equation in vertex form. That's it.
Pretty light.
But other questions will ask you to convert it to standard form, meaning you have to solve it, okay? To solve it, order of operations, you always take care of your parentheses first. What do you see on the outside of the parentheses? Squared. What does a square tell you to do?
Multiply by itself.
Multiply it times itself, meaning we're going to take x minus 2, multiply it times x minus 2. Obviously, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel out the 0. I don't need to bring it down. Does anybody recognize what we're supposed to do from here?
Box and foil.
Box and foil. Very good.
My plans have been foiled. Bro.
I forgot how to do foil.
My plans have been foiled. I guess, bro. Yes.
I guess, but for sure. That's the new slang. Yes, bro.
I guess.
All right. Once you fill out your box, you end up with x squared. Always combine your diagonals. So x squared minus 4x plus 4. This is your equation written in standard form. That's it. Now, as we go through these examples 1 through 4, each one adds a little bit more, okay? It gets a little bit harder, but not very much. Questions on number 1? All right, then, number 2. Write a quadratic function in vertex form that can be represented by the graph that has a vertex at -3, -1. So label your H and K. We already wrote our vertex formula on the other side, so unless you feel like you need to write it to plug your numbers in correctly, then I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip that step, okay? Bring down your X minus. What do you plug in next to X minus? And because we plug in a -3, what happens? Turns it a plus. And bring down your -1, or put your -1 there at the end. So all we've done is plugged in H and K. Questions? Okay, this is your equation written in vertex form. Okay, now You're still going to take the same first step. The very first step that you're going to take is to do what with this squared?
You gotta turn it into two different things. You know what I'm saying? You kidnap them and put them in back of the pit and slide them out.
And now, what do you do with those two different things? Box or foil. So go ahead and do box or foil. Dulce is for you.
Plans have been foiled.
Bro, Miss, how do I do foil method?
FOIL, double distributive. Take the X, distribute to X and 3, and then take the 3, distribute to X and 3.
Okay.
Dulce, this note is for you.
Okay.
Brantley, calm down.
Okay.
All right. So from box and foil, we get X squared plus what?
Like, yeah.
Plus 9. But don't forget you still have a what? Minus 1. Now look at the equation and figure out what can you combine. The 9 minus 1. So to finish it off, we're going to combine the 9 minus 1. We end up with x squared plus 6x plus 8. And that is your equation in standard. All right. What's different about number 3? Number 3, you don't have to plug the numbers. The numbers are already plugged in for you. They already give you the equation. But what's different? Do what? It has an A. So one more step. We're adding an A now. Okay? You still take the same first step. What is the first step? Squaring it. So we do what? Box or foil. I'm going to skip the step where I'm going to skip the step where I write it down twice.
But my plans were foiled.
I'm about to foil your plans for real.
Why would you foil my plans?
All right. Bring the 3 out front. Because we have the 3 in front of the parentheses, everything that you get from box method must remain in parentheses, okay? So I'm going to bring the 3 down and open up a parentheses, write whatever I get from box, which is x squared plus 4x plus 4. Bring down the minus 6. So because we have an A, we have to keep whatever we got from box method inside parentheses. Got it? Now what can we do? Distribute. We're going to distribute the 3. You get 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times 4, 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Bring down the minus 6. The last step? Combine. So you get y is equal to 3x squared plus 12x plus 6. Questions? No questions? Okay. Number 4. Oh, it does say identify the vertex. Whoops. We didn't identify the vertex on number 3, but let's identify what the vertex is on number 4. What is the vertex? What is my HK?
Positive 1, negative 8. Positive 1, negative 8.
Good. All right, now let's solve it. What's the first step? Box and foil.
My plans have been foiled once again.
Get another one.
Well,
need a sharp. Expand every single.
If it's a short pencil, you need to use the manual sharpener. It should be on the shelf.
Where was pencil get sliced out?
All right. Keep in mind this one has a negative in front of the parentheses, so don't forget to bring down the -1 and keep everything else in parentheses. Minus 2x plus 1 and then minus 8.
He has the brain right this.
From there, what do? Distribute the -1. So -1 times x squared. -1 times -2. And -1 times 1.
-1.
Bring down the minus 8. Last step. Combine your -1 and -8 to get what? -9.
It needs 4. Oh, it's 2x. That's right there.
If you don't have any questions, flip it over. Or if you do, I'm ready. Okay. So, most recently on this last STAR test, they created a problem where you have to solve and find your own value of A. Okay, that's never been tested until last year, so it might come up this year. We got to learn how to do it, okay? On the front, I already gave you the value of A on the last few problems on 3 and 4, but I didn't show you how to find that value of A. To find the value of A, we're going to follow those steps that are in the box on the right. Okay? So, it says the function has a vertex of -2, 8, and -4, 0. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find A. To find A, I'm first going to write my vertex and that random point. Because -2, 8 is the vertex, I have to label it with HK. My random point is -4, 0, so I'm going to label that one with XY, just as I normally would any other point. The only difference is -2, 8 is H and K specifically because it is the vertex. Got it? Now I am going to write my vertex form. Y is equal to A, X minus H, squared plus K. Because I need y'all to recognize something. We're going to plug all 4 numbers into this formula. H will substitute inside of the parentheses. K right here on the outside. We don't normally substitute an X value into a formula, but in this case, to find the A, we will. So X is going to go here inside with the H, and then your Y value is going to go here on the other side of the equation. So notice, I'm going to have a number plugged in for every single variable except for which one. And that's how we end up solving for A. Okay? So first, I'm going to replace the Y with what number? 0. Bring down the A. I'm going to replace X with what number? -4. Bring down the minus sign and plug in a. 2 negatives will make a positive. Write your squared, and then K is 8. To solve for A is now the only variable left in the whole equation. But to solve for A, the first thing you're going to do is take care of this parentheses. Okay. -4 plus 2 is what? -2 and -2 squared. -2 times -2 is +4. Now, I need y'all to realize something. When we write A times 4, we don't write it as A4, right? A coefficient always goes where? Before the variable, so we write that as 4A. So I'm going to write this down as 4A plus 8 and solve for A. It's a 2-step equation. The first step in solving for A is going to be what? Two-step equation. What number are we going to move first?
I think
The 8. Always move your constant first. Always add or subtract first. So plus 8 is going to change to minus 8. 0 minus 8 is negative 8. Bring down your 4a. And then the second step, divide the 4. So what is a? Negative 2. So yes, all that work just to find a, just to plug it back into Vertex Form and solve. Yeah, these problems are no fun. So the second thing we're going to do is we're going to go from Vertex Form to standard. And I won't make you solve any more until your assignment. Yes. Yes. So the first thing is write down all the information that you're going to need so you can plug it into your Vertex Form. We now know that a is negative 2, so bring down the negative 2. You get x plus 2 because you bring in that minus negative, right? Plus 8. Dulce, do you have all that find a part? Yeah, okay. All right, so I plugged in my h right here, plugged in my k. Now we can solve it and convert it to standard form. To convert it to standard form, what do I do? Box method. Because there is an a, remember we're going to leave everything we get from box method inside of the parentheses. And the next step is to distribute. So you get y is equal to So when you combine the 8s at the end, they cancel out. Questions? Okay. All right, the last part of this is going to go pretty fast just because I'm not going to make you solve it. I'll just tell you what the answer is. We've already solved 5 problems. I think that's enough. We good?
So many steps.
It is a lot of steps, yes.
So many steps.
All right, here we go. Number 6, it says writing the equation in vertex form from the graph. So if I need to write the equation in vertex form, what do I need from the graph? The vertex.
Yeah.
So my vertex is my h and k. What is the vertex?
3 negative 3.
All right, so when we plug it in, we get y is equal to x what? Minus or plus 3?
Wait, what?
You're plugging in a positive 3.
Plus 3.
It'll stay as minus 3, guys.
Who said plus 3?
You did.
I did. I said that.
And then bring the k down. I know, I'm just messing with him.
It's close.
Okay. It'll still stay as a minus 3 because you're plugging in a positive, right? Now, it's asking us to go from vertex form to standard form. To do that, what do? You solve it, but we've already solved a bunch of them. So, you get x squared minus 6x plus 6. Questions on this one? Number 7. Number 7 is a true false. Part A says the function's graph will have a vertex. Please don't talk over me. The function's graph will have a vertex at 7, negative 9. You should be able to identify what the vertex is from that written equation.
Oh yeah, false because the minus 9. Yeah.
7, the 7 in parentheses, because of this plus sign, that means that 7 is actually a negative 7. So the vertex is negative 7, negative 9.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, okay, hold on. I thought it was switched around then.
Yeah.
I think I was just wrong.
Okay. Part B. Part B. The function's graph will have a range of y is less than or equal to negative 9. Well, we already have the vertex, which we need for the range. Look at your value of A for the other part. If A is negative 2, are you going to have a U or an N? Is your parabola going to be a U or an N? It's going to be upside down. It's going to be an N. There's my vertex. Negative 7, negative 9. So does that give us a maximum or a minimum?
A maximum.
Max.
Nice game, bro. Yo, someone so sensitive.
The range we're talking about our y values. So I'm going to focus on that negative 9. Where do I put that negative 9? On the left or on the right side of your maximum goes on the right. So the other side is infinity. So did they write it correctly or incorrectly? It's written correctly. This is true. Now, see, the function is equivalent. That one is written in standard form. So what do you have to do? Solve it. Just to save time. When you solve it, you're supposed to get 2x squared minus 28x minus 107. So this one was false.